Hi, welcome to another episode of Out and About with Kaza. I'm Alan Richards, welcome to our show. Today we've invited back Dave Felker to tell us a little bit about what's going on in the music scene in the Gaspé and some of the activities that are coming up at Kaza. Welcome, Dave.
Thanks for having me back.
Hey, it's always good to have you back. So I thought it'd be cool to have you here because we just had a big show.
We did. I'm still tired.
Still tired. It was last weekend for when we're filming this. Yep. Homegrown 4, it was, right?
Yes.
Now tell me a little bit where Homegrown came from.
Well, Homegrown was the original sort of amalgamation or the end result of a bunch of, local talent shows we did around the coast. And we thought we'd have one big one to bring everybody together. What we didn't realize when we came up with that concept was that the musicians themselves would love the get-together because they don't get to play with each other, right? You get some from Gaspé, you get some from Matapedia. They don't get a chance to play often together. So it was a chance to make that happen. And we decided this one-off thing couldn't be a one-off, that we should do this all the time. So
it was a big success.
It was a big success. So now we've had 4 of them.
Right. So we did the smaller shows, and then we brought them all together for one big show.
Yep.
And so the format was kind of off of a fundraiser that you guys did, right?
Yeah. Well, it was off of, I think it was Dominic at the Cultural Center did that fundraiser for Ukraine.
For Ukraine.
Yeah. Right. And what was interesting about it at the time, you had all these musicians. They just sort of stayed on stage. And the idea was that a musician would play a song, and whoever was on stage could join in. You know, almost like a giant kitchen party. A little more structure than that, but it was a giant kitchen party. No. So when we did our first Homegrown, it was that we brought various acts that we had on the smaller stages all year long. We brought them all together, and we got together that Saturday and put them all in the back room, and we went over who's going to do what. And next thing you know, they were all jamming in the back rooms, getting to know each other, having fun, making songs. So from there, the next year we made it 2 days so that they could have fun on the Friday and then be a little more prepared for the Saturday.
Right.
And then the next year we did the same thing, but we added a bit of a youth show to the beginning of the day.
Right.
And brought a few youth, not many, but this year I guess it gained momentum. We had 18 total youth joined us on stage at 2 o'clock in the afternoon on Saturday. We had youth from Passepilyac, youth from Port Daniel, youth from Chandler, Grand Riviere, youth from Gaspé. It was quite a mix. And we had enough, I'm going to say, adult musicians around that were sort of helping out and helping to spread that vibe of getting together and making music outside of the show. And it was great because we had a little workshop for them in the morning put on by Aaron Check, who talked about some of his musical experience. And then I think the sound check was supposed to be around 1, but it was hard, just like the adults, to get these kids organized because they were all in this giant circle playing songs together. There was like 12, 13 of them playing bass, guitars, singing, drums. And it was like, okay guys, we gotta get ready, we have a show coming. Let's go. So what a fantastic experience for them and for us as organizers to watch it happen.
Yeah, I was there when they were playing in the circle, and I mean, it gave me goosebumps. Yeah. And also what was really cool I found was that some of the adults who were showing up to see their show and also get ready for the evening started grabbing instruments and jumping in and starting to play with them. And so.
And you had people like, Pamela Rooney was there as one of the acts for the evening, and she came up in the morning and she was part of the talks. She talked about her experiences winning her awards in Texas and how she's made it to where she's at. And it was great to hear that from a kid's point of view because they're like, wow, I could do something too, you know. And then what made it better was she wasn't like one of those stars that are untouchable. She grabbed a guitar and sat down and started singing with them and telling them, you know, I think she said she was taking all of them to Texas and Nashville, and she was buying some of them boots even, I don't know, but
they're going on tour.
That's it. So it was really that element was pretty cool. And then, you know, in the evening it carried over because we had some musicians on stage for the very first time in the evening, and again, people like Pamela Rooney were there to sort of grab their arm and pull them up onto the stage and play the music with them. And next thing you know, they went from playing 1 song to 2 songs to now they're sending me emails of these songs they wrote in the last 3 days that they want to record at Kaza and everything else. So it was a really fantastic experience.
So I just want to clarify, this was Homegrown 4,
yep.
But it wasn't the 4th year that we did it, right? It was been 3 years.
Yeah, because the one year, the second edition, we were doing them in March.
Right.
And the second edition where I was saying we had doubled up, we did the Friday, Saturday, We ended up the Friday, as is the case in March, getting snowed out. And
Right.
I think we whoever could make it made it to your garage to try to practice and give an impromptu party for you. And so what we decided to do was that November, so March to November, we decided, okay, we're going to start doing homegrowns in November because there's so much other stuff Kaz has got going on in March anyway.
Yeah, it's kind of a busy time.
So we'll do it in November. There's less chance of a snowstorm. It can happen, but there's less chance than St. Patty storms in March.
Right.
So that's what we did. So this is the third year, but our fourth edition.
Fourth year.
Yeah.
And every year it seems to be growing. So
Yeah.
you're adding components on, because we saw the vibe from the first year where people were playing in the back and
Yep.
and actually creating kind of projects live there.
Yep.
Bands came out of that.
Yes.
Collaborations came out of that. And then the second year we did it again and added the youth component, small youth component, because of was it Reed that jumped up there?
Yeah, from Listagush. Yeah,
Listagush,
he
yeah.
hopped up and he was there with his mom, Melissa Gervin, who was playing with the Triculturals on stage, and he was in the back room and he was like jamming with some of the adults. And we were like, during mid-show, we're like, do you want to do a song? Like, we can make this happen. So sure enough, he got up, and then we're like, okay, so we need a youth component to these shows. So that's where we added the
Right.
youth show the next year.
So add on the youth show, finding new people coming out to come out for the shows. There's
Yep.
some, like, we're even getting more interest. And then this year, I guess, was a big year because we did the album in the spring.
Yes.
With a lot of the performers from homegrowns of the past, I will say it like that.
Yep.
And then others who I guess jumped in as well.
Yeah, every year I like to add a lot more musicians. Like, I like to sort of mix it up so there's not always the same people at Homegrown.
Right.
But this year was a little bit different because Homegrown 3, from that, knowing that Kaz's 50th was coming up, we built 5 bands, I think, 5 or 6
that's
bands
right,
out of that. We built the Homegrown Trad Band, we built the Homegrown Country Band, we built the Antics Roadshow, we had Women's Day Band, we had a singer-songwriter band. And so doing this Homegrown kind of at the end of Kaz's 50th year celebrations, we thought we'll bring those bands on the stage and we'll sort of, so everybody can sort of finish off the year at the same time. So we opened the show with some Antics Roadshow, the band, which is kind of like a pop classic rock kind of band. And in the middle we had the traditional Homegrown Trad Band. And although we didn't have a specific country performance by the Homegrown Country Band, because Nash Stanley, who was in that band, couldn't be there, we did have John Gideon Jr. join us on stage, and I'm pretty sure the same band was there with him. So I mean, it was pretty much a wrap up of the year, and of course we still were able to manage to add I'd say 5 or 6 musicians that have never done the homegrown scene before.
And Pam Rooney.
And Pam was one of them,
Pamela
yeah.
came up for.
Who has told me she wants to be part of every year now. She
Yeah.
thoroughly enjoyed her
So
experience.
cool too that she drove all the way down here for this and was just so generous with everybody
Yes.
with her time and her energy and
Yeah.
I remember after her giving hugs and high fives to the youth, but she was also doing that after the practice for the night before with the adults.
And John Gideon said to me afterwards, like, she is a fireball of energy, like, and contagious. Like, you're starting to feel tired because it's getting the end of the night and she comes in the room, hi, and you're just like, okay, let's go. So, no, it was great.
And so it was the same kind of overall format though, right?
Yep.
A whole bunch of musicians from all over.
Yep.
So they come from Gaspé all the way to...
We had musicians from Gaspé. I mean, one of them from Texas, technically, because she come up. We had musicians from the other end, Cross Point. Well, Jim was there, and we had a good mix of in between. Yeah, and so it was. But the other things we add to these shows is because it's not often you get 30 some odd musicians in the room. As we realized a couple years ago that while they're there, why don't we start giving them some tools, especially because some of them are brand new musicians, they're new to this. So we started showing them how they can sign up for your SOCAN, the Artisty, and all that, those networks that you need to be signed up for if you ever want to make some money off your music.
Right.
And then, of course, from that, it spiraled into making the Kaza album this year, which had a dozen plus musicians on it, and a lot of it, most of it, if not all of it, was homegrown songs that were written,
all original compositions by...
other than yourself, who had copied the original version of...
But it was still from the Gaspé.
It was,
I didn't
yeah.
write it myself, but still a gentleman from Murdochville who did that for
Yeah,
us.
and it was good to get you on there, and your mother, and who was on the original one as well. And then we had 7 or 8 more songs where people like Robbie Sullivan was able to record a song. Nash Stanley, of course, who's got music out there already. Norman Desjardins.
Nathan Hayes has got
Nathan Hayes,
some
yeah.
really nice songs.
Aaron
tunes.
Check, and
Aaron
myself even had a song on there.
That's right.
So I mean, we had a chance to get some new music. Megan McCallum on there as well. New music that we recorded in the Casa studio, a little bit in my basement, a little bit up at Alex Peltier's studio. We got those songs out there, and because that is a thing now, and these musicians are realizing, oh, I can create a song and get it out there. Well, let's show them how they can make some money off it too by registering for these things. So we do those workshops as part of Homegrown as well, so that they can be informed on how to take next steps.
Get together, collaborate, and have some fun, but also get some information that would have been hard to reach them each individually.
And the other thing about Homegrown is I also take the time to call up a few of the bars or a few cultural centers around the coast and say, hey, this is what's going on. You may have never seen these musicians before. Come check them out, and maybe you can book them for your events. Bars and cultural centers, but also different festivals.
And events, so like almost a showcase for local people to get. And another thing I really like about it, so now we're into all ages.
Yep.
Men and women.
Yes.
But also French, English, Mi'kmaq.
Yep.
So we had John Gideon back with us, and Roger Lee Martin came and played with his daughter, which was great.
Yeah.
It's the first time she played with us, right?
Yeah.
We also had Steve Delosby from Kimo Le Crew jumped up this year and just kind of asked him if he wanted to sit in, and he was gracious enough to grab his harmonica
and people like Steve, for example, they're used to having a bit of structure to what they're doing. Like with Kimo Crew, they got their songs, right?
Pros, yeah.
So leading up to the show, he was texting me, "What songs am I doing? What keys are they in?" And I'll bring my harmonica, right? But the vibe of Homegrown is once you're there, you see other people practicing. Oh, hey, can I get in on that song? And that's what started off as as the organizer, I got these lists of who needs what for what songs and what key. Yeah. It all gets thrown out the window once I get there, because suddenly he doesn't want to play on this anymore because he's going to jump in and he's going to hop in. And now there's guitar and flute on. Okay.
Yeah, I think I noticed it. The only one I really noticed it on, because I was paying attention, was John's song.
Yeah.
His original song they just wrote, recorded. And Steve was already playing harmonica on it for him. So I guess they did that in the back room.
And then some people like Aaron gave me 3 songs, and then hours before the show changed them all. But that's okay. That's the vibe. That's the spirit of it. And actually, that was what, because I'd asked Pamela Rooney if she had time for this, what song she was going to do. She said, from what I hear about Homegrown, I'll figure that out there with them. And that's what she did.
And so if anybody wants to watch this show, it's out there. It's going to be on our...
It's currently on the Facebook Gaspesian Way page as a live, as well as the youth show, who were fantastic. It was a great show. They set the bar high. But I think over the coming weeks, that'll get transferred over to the Bonfire Media Network.
It'll go on the Bonfire Media. And speaking of lives,
yes.
It's that time of the year now. So quickly, we have some shows coming up next week. You and I are going back on the road.
We're bouncing around. This is the 6th year doing this. We started during the pandemic with some Facebook Lives over the Christmas holidays, just to sort of celebrate the Gaspesian way of life around Christmas time, and those that are awake can tune in and watch. And we've been doing it for 5 years. It changes a bit each year. This year we're doing 5 shows starting December 1st. December 1st, we're in Alex Peltier's studio with some guests.
We're in Douglastown at Alex's.
Yeah, we'll have Nash Stanley there. Again, live music, along with some different organizations will meet with us, and we'll do some trivia or something to make them embarrassed. That's the goal. Tuesday, we are in Matapedia. We're literally one end of the coast to the other end of the day. We'll be at the ski station there, and we have Jim will be playing some music, but he's bringing it in Sammy with him as friends, so it's going to be great. Wednesday, we're in Chandler at the mezzanine of the arena with the babysitters.
Alex and Tom and Genevieve.
Yep. And Aaron, Tom,
Alex,
and some others, I'm sure. And then Thursday, we're at Shigwag Fairgrounds, almost like a Thirsty Thursday in December,
right?
With Mountain Mountain Whisper in Shigwag. Yep. And then on Friday, we're at the Legion in New Carlisle with the Micmac Boys.
Right. So it's going to be a big week.
It's going to be a big week.
If people want to check it out, they should check out the Gaspesian Way Facebook page.
Yes, that's where all the info is.
And they start around what time?
The live shows start at 7, but in each location you can get there earlier because it's free for everybody. So there's bar service at all those places except for Alex's. I don't think he wants too many people in his little studio.
Don't show up in Douglastown, but everywhere else you're welcome.
You're welcome to come and hang out and yep.
Right on. So tune in on Monday around 7 o'clock. You'll see the first show will be in Douglastown, and we'll give you the information for all of the other shows. And if you're in New Carlisle or Matapedia or Chandler, you're welcome to stop by and take in those shows in Chilliwack even. So,
Yep.
Well, thanks for coming to tell us about all that's going on in music. It's really
So much.
exciting. So much. I'm tired just listening
Yep.
to it, so looking forward to Christmas. And thank you all for joining us again for another episode of Out and About. Merry Christmas, and we'll see you in the new year.